Okay, everyone. So I'll level with you. What is the best time to retire? Well, a question like that, there is no easy answer to that because it depends on too many factors. The age you retire, the commitments that you still have at the point of your retirement. Have you still got a mortgage in place? Do you pay rent? There's many factors to consider. If you retire too early, have you got enough savings to keep yourself going until your pensions kick in? Let's say they kick in at 67, because used to be 65. They were the glory days, but now it's 67. Okay, so I'll level with you and I'll give you an example. Let's say you wanted to retire in your early 60s. Let's just say it's 62, 63. Let's say you've got savings of, say, 150k. Let's say you've also got pensions of about the same amount, 150k. But you'd have to wait for that. You can take a lump sum apparently, but let's say you didn't want to do that and you wanted to wait for the designated period to elapse and then take it then, which is 67, isn't it? Then you will get the government one as well, which is what, currently 210 quid or something like that. So really, you're completely relying on all your savings. Okay, so here's another factor to consider. You're single, you've got savings, you don't pay rent to a greedy landlord, and you're not a slave to the system by paying a mortgage. Not that I call it being a slave to the system, because basically that's what you are. You know, you enter into an agreement to pay over a designated period of time, so you're a slave to the system. You're not a slave if you don't have a mortgage, because you can do what you want. But you're a slave to the cost of living. We all are. Right, so I've worked out that under those circumstances, could you comfortably live on 20k a year? Obviously, you wouldn't be able to have expensive nights out, no casinos, nothing like that. No exotic holidays. So kind of would be the bare minimum, wouldn't it? About 20k. You'd have to pay all your community services and all your water, gas, electric, everything out of that every year. So you'd soon eat up, over a 5-year period, 100k. But that's okay, isn't it? Because I said that this person has got 150k. So that 5-year period will have elapsed, taking you to your 67th birthday. So you then get all your entitlements. So the question is, when is the best time to retire? When you weigh all that up, and you then hear stories of people that have gone on too long and they've sort of worked and then dropped down with a TIA or a heart attack, and then they've been a shell of their former self. When you hear all these stories of those people, kind of makes you stop in your tracks and evaluate life in general. And that is pushing yourself too far to the point where perhaps it's starting to encroach on your mental health? But having said that, would you want to work until you drop and perhaps then be rescued by a paramedic, taken to the hospital because you've had a TIA or you've had a stroke or something else has happened? You've had a panic attack, anything. Because everything happens, doesn't it, when you get into your 60s? All of a sudden this made me laugh. I went to the surgery and they slipped me this note. I thought, why are they slipping me notes like that? Really discreet. And then it talked about my free prescriptions, because I've got to that age where you get a free prescription. I hadn't even twigged at that point that she was being as tactful as possible as to not embarrass me. And I thought, oh no. So it's a reminder that you're getting older. And then if you've had a few things happen to you when you get into your 60s, it kind of just slows you right down. Can anybody relate to this? Do you remember when you were as a superstar fitter and you could do the work of two people and you could work a 10-hour day and then you could work all night doing second fixes? So you could put all the main in during the day using the cherries and the scissors, and then you go and have a bit of tea, and then you'd come back and you do a second fix and do about 50 second fix heads. Do you remember when you was a superstar and you could do that? I do. I remember those days. But when you get to a certain age, you just can't do what you used to do. And you lose a bit of confidence. You start to think, oh no, I used to be able to do that so easy, and now I just can't do it. It's very, very frustrating. But you can't ignore the signs, people. And that is, if you're getting older, in your mind, you still think you're a young buck. And you can go 15 rounds with some of the best heavyweight boxers in the world, but you can't. And there's a stark realisation that stops you in your tracks at that point. And it says to you, slow down, you bloody fool, or you'll kill yourself. But unfortunately, we all think that we're indestructible. And that's just wrong thinking. You have got to realise what your limitations are when you get to your 60s. You won't even think about it when you're in your 40s and your 50s. But all of a sudden, you'll get a reminder when you get to your 60s. And only the wisest people heed those messages. And the very stupid ones ignore them, and they end up dropping down, either in death or a life-changing experience where they have to be nursed in their retirement years. You don't want that to happen, do you? So again, I'm asking you, those that have been through early retirement, reach out now and tell me, what made you take early retirement? Was it all the factors that I've mentioned, or was it something completely different? Please share your story with me, because I too am at that crossroads of what to do. You could help me decide. Thank you.